So sometimes we need to be doing some problem solving with the arithmetic sequences, and this will involve the formula, obviously, for ourselves. So just to remind ourselves, the t value at the front, this is the value, the actual value of it. A is always the first term. N is the term number, so which one it is in the sequence. And d is always the difference, the common difference. Remember, positive means it's increasing, negative means it's decreasing. So if we take a look at a problem here, we might try to apply some basic problem-solving skills for it. So the first term of an arithmetic sequence is 4. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is think about identifying what I know. So I'm going to be following these steps here, identifying what I know. So in reading this problem, I see that the first term of the arithmetic sequence is 4. That tells me automatically that I know A is equal to 4. And the sixth term is 19. Okay, so what does that mean? That means the sixth term in the sequence is 19. I can write that as t with a little 6 because it's the sixth term is equal to 19. And they're wanting us to find the first 4 terms in the sequence. So this is kind of all I've got out of here. But what I don't know, or what I need to find, are these bits here. I don't know what d is. And if I knew what d was, then I could probably figure out how to answer this question. So diagrams can be really helpful, and what you always want to think about is the n goes on top and the t's go below. And if you fill that in, it can help you sort of piece together some of that information. So if I start here with a diagram for myself, put the n on top and t on bottom. So remember, n is like the counting numbers, the first, second, third, fourth, fifth term. And the t is the value of it. So let's start here. The first term is 4. That much I know. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I don't know any of those terms until the sixth one I know is actually 19. So if I diagram this, it can help me kind of piece together some of the information. So I need to figure out, in a way, what d is by looking at this diagram. So what I can think about is, well, how much did I increase by between 19 and 4? So let's look at that. 19 minus 4 is a total of 15. So I went up by a total of 15 between the first and the sixth term. Now the next thing I'm going to ask myself, okay, so here is just give myself some more room there. First thing I asked here is how much did it change? So did I increase by? And in this case, it was 15. I went up by 15. The next question I want to ask myself then is, how many steps? So remember, with an arithmetic sequence, you've got to go up in steps of the exact same size. So I can't add 5 and then add 7 another time and then add 3. I have to do something like add 5, add 5, add 5, or take away 1, take away 1, take away 1. The steps have to be the exact same size. So if I know I went up by a total of 15, how many steps did I have to do that in? So if you think about this, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. And another way to look at that would be 6 minus 1 is 5 steps. So I increased by 15 in 5 steps. Increased by 15 in 5 steps. So let's break 15 into 5 equal steps, and then we'll know how big each step was. So that's 15 divided by 5 is going to get you 3. And that's going to be your common difference. And so, again, to think about that one, I was saying, well, break 15 into 5 equal steps. And to do that, you think about doing division. So that's 15 divided by 5. And now you know what d is. So d is equal to 3. And if you know what d is, you can finish the rest of it. And here I know that it's positive, and that makes sense because 4 to 19 I'm increasing, so it should be a positive d. So if I want to figure out what the first 4 terms in the sequence are, the first one is 4, and then I can go plus 3. That gets me to 7. Go plus 3 again will get me to 10. And plus 3 one more time will get me to 13. So here it's 4, 7, 10, 13, plus 3 would get me to 16, plus 3 would get me to 19, and on you go. But there's our answer. So again, in this case, I didn't know what D was, but I had to think about it. So if you've got that diagram, you can think about, okay, how far did I go total? And then break it up into equal steps, and you can figure out exactly what that D is. And in this case, once I figured out what I needed to find, which was just the D, and then I can figure out what the rest of the steps are, I didn't actually have to use a formula or use solver, because I was able to just do that. So we'll take a look at the rest of these as we go along. The next one, a sequence is decreasing by 5 each time. So let's identify what we know. Decreasing by 5 each time. What does that mean? Well, decreasing by 5 each time means that my step here, basically my D, so D is equal to -5. Negative because it's going down, it's decreasing. And the 7th term is 80. Okay, so that's again T, the 7th one has a value of 80. And they want me to find the first 4 terms in the sequence. So again, a diagram can be really helpful here, so let's do that. Term number and the term value. So out to number 7, I know that term 7 has a value of 80, and I have a difference of 5. So here I'm going to go down by -5 between each of these, and I can tell what I'm missing here is actually a lot of information. If I knew what A was, I could figure that out. So if you think about all these bits that are known to us, A would be the really helpful one to find out. Because if I knew what A was, then I could just subtract 5 off of each one. Some of you might be thinking, oh, I could just work backwards and add 5 on to get there. But just so you see this, in case it's a really ridiculous amount of things you have to add, let's think about our formula. Our formula is T sub n equals A plus bracket n minus 1 times D. Okay, so what do we know? I actually know the value of a term, and I know the term number of that. So here with T7 is equal to 80, that happens when n is equal to 7. And I know my difference is -5, and what I don't know is A. So if I think about these bits that I know, I can actually plug into this formula because I can use one of the terms I've been given to give me that. I know that because it's the 7th term, and I know that. This is the only one I don't know. So again, the value of the term is on the bottom. So T sub n, let's pick off this pair. We're going to use a pair of them. So if I use the one on the bottom, I'll use the one on the top. And again, this is going to be my T. So 80 is equal to A, which I don't know, plus n is going to be 7, because I know that goes with the 80. 7 minus 1 times, and D is -5. So what we're going to do with this is put it into solver. So going into solver on your calculator, type in exactly what you see. 80 is equal to something I don't know. Always use that x theta t button under the red one there. Something I don't know, plus bracket 7 minus 1, which you could just simplify to 6, but if you're not thinking about doing that, times -5. Press enter and make sure you hit solve. And here you can see I've got x is equal to 110. So that tells me A is equal to 110. And once I know what A is, I can then work backwards, or just carry on with it. So here I've got A is equal to 110. I need to go in steps of -5 down each time, because my D is -5. So 110 minus 5, 105. Minus 5 is 100. -5 is 95. And you can see that this will work out for us. that we get to 80 if we needed it. So the first four terms, my answer would be 110, 105, 100, and 95. So again, to get through that problem, I thought about identifying what I know and identifying what I don't know. And then you can use this formula if you've got enough information to plug into it. Plug in what you know and use solver to find what you don't. And again, it's important to use a pair. So if you've got this diagrammed out for yourself, you can see that 7 is the n and 80 is the t for the formula in that case.